Well, we finally made it. The Muppets 2011. It took 12 years. 12 years of canceled projects getting bought by Disney, 12 years of just not knowing what exactly to do with these characters. And finally, this movie comes out, and I can't even express to you what a godsend Muppets 2011 felt like. What an insane anomaly it was. Imagine growing up in the 2000s, not only were there no Muppet films, but live-action family and kids films were in the gutter. Almost every release was boiling hot dog water, with either some stupid CGI monstrosity shaking its ass, cheap lowbrow humor and fart jokes.
Sorry.
And just pure laziness on all fronts. The 2000s are this beloved decade now, but growing up during it, it really felt like studios were just downright refusing to put any actual effort into certain genres. So, a live-action musical comedy for general audiences filled with puppets in the year 2011 was like watching the return of an extinct species, one that left a sizable void in its absence.
Before I go, I'd just like to say something. I think kids are smarter and better than all this junk, and if you... Oh, Veronica.
Gambino, you slime, you ruined a perfectly good moment! I remember being so excited, seeing it in theaters and just adoring it. The songs, the humor, the reintroduction of all these beloved characters. I recall it being practically perfect. The thing is, before now, I only saw it that one time, and after watching all these Muppet films before it, I was really skeptical just how well it would hold up, especially after 13 years of watching half-assed reboots and revivals completely sap the nostalgia out of every IP under the sun for a quick buck. Like we're here in the year 2024, no part of me wants to watch Ghostbusters Tropical Freeze. Why are we still doing this? So I'm glad to see, even all this time later, not only does the Muppets 2011 hold up, it's so good. It's almost offensive to even lump it in with any of these modern reboots. It absolutely washes them. I think what I was really curious to see was just how well the new characters would hold up, specifically Jason Segel, Amy Adams, and the new Muppet, Walter. See, Walter and Jason Segel's character Gary are brothers, which is pretty hilarious in itself, with the movie opening with a montage of their childhood, and damn, is Walter's life just genuinely sad. Even his prom date don't want to be with him. But he has his one comfort, the Muppets, being a super fan even long after their demise, with aspirations to maybe one day grace the stage with him. But in this world, the Muppets are done, disbanded, and largely forgotten. Muppets from Space wasn't that bad, people. And just in the first few minutes alone, these characters pretty much won me over. And the movie itself just immediately shows its hand at how respectful to the series' legacy and quality it really is. I mean, the opening song slaps, the humor's on point, with even the meta stuff feeling fresh and hilarious even all these years later. With no real outlet, Walter kinda clings constantly onto Gary, his life just kinda being a failure to launch situation. Gonzo the Great could never. Much to the annoyance of Mary, played by Amy Adams. See, Mary wants to marry Gary, but Gary and Mary barely get any time alone because Walter is always third-wheeling, even on their romantic trip to LA, where they uncover an evil businessman named Tex Richmond plans to destroy the Muppet Studios to drill it for oil.
There's oil under the studio. Yeah, I can smell it. Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh. Maniacal.
And thus we get our characters seeking out the Muppets to reunite for one last show to raise money to save the studio. It's a very, very simple premise, but very effective. For a short while, it does intentionally follow a similar structure to the first Muppet movie, but thankfully not in an obnoxious way, with more than enough new stuff here to really make an impact. I was genuinely taken aback just how amazing this one was. When you're dealing with over half a century of material to pull from, they could have just taken the easy route with most of these gags, but no, the humor here is just on point, and the soundtrack. Every single song slaps. When our new characters get introduced to good old Kermit, we get the song Pictures in My Head. This genuinely moving and powerful song. It's up there for me as one of my favorites in the Muppets catalog. The gang reuniting with each Muppet isn't just sweet, it's hilarious. You have Fozzie performing with the Muppets in Reno, singing a bastardized rendition of Rainbow Connection.
Why are there such great deals on our hotel rooms? Free parking for cars, not RVs.
Not RVs.
Gonzo is a big business corporate whatever selling toilets, who simply can't truly refuse the call to show the skies again.
Here! I've been wearing this under my suit every single day for years! Look out below! Cabello, where are you going? You threw me off balance! I can't see! Apollo 13!
And they don't miss a beat with Kermit and Miss Piggy's dynamic, with their relationship being on the rocks. It makes the point where they actually do come together very, very sweet. Speaking of sweet, I really like this cute moment that Kermit and Fozzie share together in the Muppet Studios, followed by Cars 2 jump scare. And even long into the movie, where I was worried the original cast would largely overshadow the new characters, they kinda effortlessly alternate between these plot threads. Any fear I had of Walter and Gary completely sapping precious screen time was washed away during the incredible number Muppet or a Man.
Or am I a Muppet? Am I a Muppet? If I'm a Muppet, then I'm a very manly Muppet. Very manly Muppet.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but this song, this entire sequence, is a banger. Even all these years later, I still remember the howling of laughter I heard from the audience in my showing during one of the song's big reveals. It's Cars 2!
Take a look at this diagram the research department drew up. This circle represents everything that's currently popular. And this tiny speck is you guys.
Thematically, the film does deal a ton with the Muppets and their relevance today, and coincidentally, just as I started looking back on all these films, there was a lot of trending discourse online about the topic, with some claiming that the Muppets are merely a product of their time and have no place in the modern landscape of film and television. And it's like, it's so weird to see this movie tackle that 13 years ago and knock it out of the park, and we're still talking about this. Let's get it straight, the Muppets are timeless. Whether they work is purely up to whoever is at the helm. If the people behind the project understand these characters, their humor, their tonal balance. If there's no place for the Muppets today, that's purely the fault of corporate greed evaporating any passion or true understanding of how these characters operate. It's a miracle that Muppets 2011 not only had an incredible team behind it that made this movie work, but they accomplished it all under the guise of Disney, a company who even after the success of this movie continues to struggle to understand the essence of the IPs they keep amassing. When the movie finally does a true rendition of Rainbow Connection, a song that's so easy to manipulate for cheap nostalgia, it feels so well earned. This is a brilliant movie, and perhaps the best soft reboot, revival, whatever you want to call it. There's some shots and little details I wish were done a little differently, like, okay, where's Rizzo? My man didn't have a single line, but I will reluctantly let that go, because they did kill it on all major fronts. The beautiful soundtrack, the sincerity, the humor, the meta gangs, even the cameos. I totally forgot they dusted off Mickey Rooney for this split-second shot. True story, I met Mickey Rooney when I was 8 years old at this random-ass convention in the middle of the desert, and I said, hey, yo, you're the guy from Phantom of the Megaplex. And he said, holy shit, it's young Junko. Catch me in a new Muppet movie in the year 2011. The Muppets 2011, a near-perfect revival that proves the Muppets can still reach that extremely high bar quality in the right hands.
Wow, I can't believe we're all back together. Even all you guys who weren't in the montage.
Yeah, how come you didn't use me in the montage? I thought my story was pretty interesting.
Rolf?
Huh?
Want to get back together?
Okay.
Good.
Classic.